Make you lose with the unthinkable. Don't stop till you come first. Life's too unpredictable. Take control of what you're worth. Wasting time's forgivable.
Hey everyone, my name is Kaitlyn. Welcome back to my channel, Big Screen Books. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Darkest Minds movie, which is the new book-to-movie adaptation based on the wonderful novel by Alexandra Bracken. I have the book right here. This is one of my favorite dystopian book series. It's absolutely fantastic. I read the series about 4 years ago with my mom, so these books are very, very special to me, and I love Alexandra Bracken so much. I love these characters, and just the story is so empowering and inspiring and just frankly very relevant to issues that are going on in our society today, and I honestly thought this would be a great movie adaptation. So this whole year I have been super stoked for this movie, and I'm excited to talk about it with you guys because I have some good thoughts and I have some not so great thoughts and just a lot of things to discuss with you guys. So the beginning of this video will be spoiler free if you're interested in just kind of hearing some of my overall thoughts before deciding whether you want to go see the movie, and then we're going to get into some spoilery details because I just have some things that I want to talk about. So first of all, The Darkest Minds is about a world, basically like a near future-ish America, where an illness breaks out. It's called IAAN. In my head when I was reading it, I always just called it Ian. Ian is an illness that basically wipes out like 98% of children, and those who survive are changed forever, and they each get superpowers. And the superpowers range in level. If you were green, you were basically really smart and are good with riddles and puzzles and math and science and stuff like that. If you're blue, you can have telekinetic powers, which is one of my favorite abilities. If you are a yellow, which in the movie they actually changed to gold, which was a really strange choice in my opinion, because when I think of gold, I think of a color that's kind of a more dirty yellow, a more kind of brownish yellow, but in the movie all their stuff was yellow, but they called them golds. In the book they're yellows, and they can basically control electricity. And then you have the two most dangerous superpowers, and those are reds, who have firepower, and oranges, who can basically control and alter people's thoughts and minds and stuff. Our main characters is Ruby, Liam, Chubbs, and Zoo. These are 4 kids who all have superpowers and go in this really amazing, incredible, just kind of journey, and like an actual road trip. It's an actual journey that they go on of like self-discovery and survival, and this is a story that I just really, really connected to. The first time I read this book, I actually listened to an audiobook with my mom when we were on a road trip, and so a lot of times like I felt like I was actually with the kids driving down, and that was a really cool experience. So this audiobook is really fantastic if you guys want to check it out. The movie is produced by 20th Century Fox. It is directed by Jennifer Hugh Nelson, written by Chad Hodge, and it stars Amanda Steinberg, Skyland Brooks, Harris Dickinson, and Maya Check. I'm sorry for pronouncing her name wrong. It also has Mandy Moore and Gwendolyn Christie. I loved the cast. The cast was my favorite part of this movie. Just seeing the cast chemistry. I got to see them at Comic-Con at a panel, and I also went to the premiere in LA for The Darkest Minds. And just seeing the cast chemistry and how much they get along and how much fun they had, and I thought that really translated to the screen. Like, I felt these characters' chemistry, like seeing Harris like holding Maya's hand, and then in the movie you have Liam carrying Zoo, and it's just so precious, and these kids were great, and this was just such a wonderful cast. That Mandy Moore as Kate was perfect. She's strong, she's charismatic, yet she's a bit mysterious, and Mandy Moore fit that character very well. Gwendolyn Christie as Lady Jane was a bit terrifying and just played it perfectly. That was just wonderful. The cast was so great. Every character had their moment, and every actor like really brought each character to life and really brought the essence of those characters from the book onto the screen, especially Skyland. Skyland as Chubbs was so funny, like every time I saw this movie, and I've seen it 3 times, every time I saw it, like, I'm just laughing out loud. He was the Chubbs, and it was amazing. And a lot of the lines, I wonder what he possibly improv'd or what was written in the script, because some of the lines were so funny that I was like, he had to have improv'd those. I don't think those could have been written. And the reason I say that is because a lot of my issues with the movie actually stemmed from the choices that the director and the screenwriter made, unfortunately. So the director, Jennifer Yu Nelson, had directed the Kung Fu Panda 2 movie before, so she mostly comes from a background of animation, which I was really excited to see what she would do with her first live-action film. And a lot of the parts of the movie, you could tell that this was a newer director. At least it felt like that at times. Like, playing random pop music during them walking, or having, like, random, like, really pretty artsy shots that had nothing to do with what was going on. For instance, there was, like, one scene where it was just, like, this beautiful, like, blades of grass, like, the sun shining through, and the lens flares. It was just a beautiful, like, looked like it could be a picture shot, and then just boom, it just goes to the next scene, and it's like, that shot had absolutely nothing to do with what was going on. There was another scene where they're like, let's just throw this, like, beautiful, dark, foggy forest shot in there that, again, had absolutely nothing to do with what was going on. You know, it's like you have these beautiful artsy shots that could be better placed to be more effective, and the issue that I had with a lot of the writing is that I could tell, as a fan of the book, I could tell which scenes they picked out of Alex's book and put into the movie, and which parts were written, because the parts and lines from the book were natural and charming and witty and just very interesting, and a lot of the dialogue that was added in the movie that I know was not in the book was very awkward. A lot of just really awkwardly written things, and I don't think it was the actor's portrayal or delivery. I really don't think it was the director's. I think it was how it was written. There were just some really, really terrible lines and terrible scenes that were written that I was just cringing. That I was like, no, what? So, yeah, that I had major issues with. So that's kind of the end of my spoilery-free section. I have some more things I want to talk about, so if you've seen the movie, we can continue. If you have not seen the movie, I highly recommend you guys go and still watch it. This is a very solid YA adaptation overall. If you enjoyed the movie and you have not read the book, go read the book. The book is so good, you guys. Like, I just recently reread the whole series in preparation for The Darkest Legacy, which is the book that came out on July 31st. This book is just so deep, so rich of just young characters that I relate to and what they go through, and there are themes that are scarily so relevant to what's going on in society now. Like, it is crazy. So you guys definitely should go read the book and read the whole series because it is fantastic. And if you guys are a fan of the books and you're like, should I go see the movie? Go watch it. It is a much more faithful adaptation than most YA adaptations I've seen. So I still have overall very pleasant things to say about it. Now we're going to go to some spoilery things, so I'm going to go a little bit deeper onto what parts I didn't like and what parts I did like. So if you've seen the movie, let's continue. So I'm just going to come out first and talk about the main issue that I had with the movie, and that's going to be the Reds. Okay, so something that I just loved about this story in this book is just how realistic this story seems. Alexander Bracken created this dystopian kind of sci-fi world that seems very realistic and like something that could actually happen. And in the movie, it was like that for a while until we get to the part with the Reds, and it was so ridiculous, so unrealistic, and it just took me out of the story. Because the Reds are just normal people. They are normal people who have fire abilities, just like any of the other people with powers. But they're made to be soldiers, pretty much. They're broken down and put to be Clancy's soldiers as a part of the Project Jamboree. And in the movie, they made them these fire-breathing dog people. And it was just ridiculously looking. It looked so bad. Like, I did not, like, no, I was not impressed by it. Like, that just took me out of it. I was not happy with that. That just did not seem like a very good choice. And another issue I had was with Clancy. So when we first got to see Clancy, I was really excited because he's such an interesting, fascinating character that I don't know, I hate him, but I love him, you know, that kind of character. In the beginning, he was very charming, very charismatic, how Clancy is. And then he just goes, like, full psycho. Like, in the book, like, yes, he's the villain, but we kind of get to see why he does certain things, and, you know, he's not, like, in the movie, they made it seem like his purpose here was to just change Ruby. And let's just round up all these kids for his army, and, like, never really expressed, like, what he was building his army for. Like, he just had this army, like, of Reds and soldiers and stuff. And it's like, what was it for? And then he's all, I'm gonna turn you Ruby, I'm gonna make you the perfect Ruby. Like, that was just so creepy and just weird, and just, I don't understand why that scene was written in there. Like, that was just off. I actually really liked the movie leading up until the end. The whole East River attack just really disappointed me. And then we had a really great scene of Amanda and Harris when they're sitting on the bed in the Children's League, and she's, like, talking and, you know, about to wipe his memories. That was wonderfully done, which a lot of those lines were from the book. You know, that was a very wonderful scene. And then we get to, like, the whole, like, empowerment, like, we accept who we are, and the paint on the forehead. No, that missed its mark as well. Like, it's like, why was that in there? Like, I get the purpose to make it feel inspiring and empowering, and you can do that without having that, like, flashy, kind of poetic, creative scene with her with the paint on their foreheads and their hands and lifting their hand up, all Hunger Games style. No, we didn't need that in the movie. This book is inspiring and empowering because of the messages that it conveys and the things that the characters go through. That's what makes the story inspiring and empowering, not that scene. And I also love all the scenes when they're in Betty, which is not Black Betty for the movie, but I thought the van still looked really great. And like I said, like, I was actually very impressed with how well the movie did follow the book. Like, having Zoo give her the dress, like, yes, you know, it was changed, a different scene, but, you know, she still gives her the dress. The whole thing with the giving the socks, like, there were just some really great moments that I love from the book that were put into the movie. And, like, I could tell that, like, there was a lot of care with the production of this movie to cater towards the fans, and I really saw that, and I appreciated that. However, a lot of the messages that I think they were trying to convey, I think, missed its mark. So that's kind of all I have to say about the Darkest Minds movie. Let me know down below if you guys saw it, if you guys are excited to see it, if you guys are fans of the books. I would love to hear your thoughts, and of course talk to you guys on Twitter or Instagram if you guys want to chat more. You can add me on Twitter, Big Screen Books with 2 S's at the end, and on Instagram at Big Screen Books. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone!